This is an elite barbarian spawner, a card that was supposed to be in Clash Royale but for some unknown reasons would never get added. So this got me thinking, what was the best card in Clash Royale that just wasn't in the game? Well, today I have the 8 craziest unreleased cards ever. I will show some of these that could actually help you win more games, and at the end of the video I will talk about the reason why the 2 most insane cards were never added to Clash Royale. And so everything started with this one thing, this card over here that is called the Ice Tower. It was supposed to be added a really long time ago, but there was one extremely massive issue with it, and this is where everything went wrong. The Ice Tower was almost exactly what you think of it, but it did have a slight twist. It was supposed to be the first legendary building in the game and also the most unique thing we have ever seen. So why wasn't the Ice Wizard Tower added to the game? Most people when they hear an idea that sounds pretty good, they would like it added, but it just seemed like the Ice Wizard Tower had an issue. The differences between the Ice Wizard Tower and Bomb Tower actually goes to the cards themselves, Ice Wizard versus Bomber. So the Bomber is a cheap defensive card that does have some potential offense, while the Ice Wizard is literally one of the most defensive cards that exist in the game. Yes, when the Ice Wizard Tower was added, the dev team just didn't like the slowing mechanic. It was way too defensive and in this case just didn't fit in the game. Now, the Ice Tower being so defensive and not fun to play was a good reason to not add it, but the thing is that I do have another card that is just like it at the end of the video, and even though this Ice Tower that was pretty cool for some people, there is a much more insane card here about something never before seen that would just completely break the game. This next card that we have wasn't like anything we already know of and does sound really cool. This card is the first card ever that is a trap. That's basically what it was and how it worked. You would place this card called the Bear Trap on the map, and from the limited info that we have, it would do 2 things. First of all, when you put it, it would stay on the ground like a building but invisible. Then when something walks over it, the Bear Trap would close itself and trap it inside. Then maybe you could shoot it while it's closed? We don't actually have that much info about it and can only assume that it would just break the game if something like this would be added, unlike the next card that was never released into the game, but we do know everything about it and can actually play with it fully. So yeah, when I first saw this card I had to try it out to see what's going on, that's for sure. This card is 4 elixir and is called the Ghost. No, not the royal ghost that is in the game, I am talking about this ghost that doesn't exist. This card that was a scrapped idea from 2017 about a normal troop with unique mobility, but then it just didn't get added and these so-called unique mobility mechanics would later go onto the bandit. You can still play this unreleased ghost though, it's just on an app called Royale and the card doesn't have any cool mechanics. But at least we have that, right? There are way cooler cards on the list though, just like this one that we have over here. A card that was teased by the official developers once, but never actually came into the game. Hold up, that sounds pretty stupid to do. So this card that is called the Elite Archers actually had a good reason why it wasn't added. Back in 2018, the Elite Barbarians were one of the most annoying cards ever, and so it didn't really feel good to add another card that is just like it, that is literally gonna do the exact same thing. Imagine you added something to a game that causes so much problems that you can't remove, and then repeating the exact same mistake. Luckily Supercell did manage to catch this in time, and the Elite Archers never got added. What about something else though? A card that people do want in the game, a card that could help a ton of people, that could include you. This card is a pretty special case. It actually does exist in the game and technically has the lowest value you can possibly have. Well, the troop does exist in the game, but the card obviously not. This card being the 1 Lava Pup. It was supposed to be a card just like Skeletons but with 1 Lava Pup. But instead of being a normal cheap cycle card like all of the spirits, the special thing about this card is that it would literally give you 1 Lava Pup for absolutely nothing. This thing would cost you 0 whole elixir, which firstly was a really good reason to add it to the game, but also not. When you first hear it, a 0 elixir card does sound amazing, but it's also just gonna be the best cycle card ever. With this card you can basically have a 3 card cycle every single moment, and with a champion on the map that's literally a permanent 2 card cycle. Imagine how broken that is. And so even though people did want this thing added, it was just not gonna work out. I do have a much cooler card though, a card that got leaked over 7 years ago and never made it out. And although this card doesn't exist in the game and never has, you might have still played with it once. This card is called the Barbarian King that got leaked in the middle of 2017, and after one single moment of being seen just disappeared. We don't know exactly what happened in this case, but I can try and guess what happened. So in case you don't know, the Barbarian King is a troop in Clash of Clans, and on one day in 2017 we got a leak that champions were coming to the game. Now everybody does know that, but in these leaks, apart from the Archer Queen that did get added and was in the leaks, for some reason the Barbarian King would not be added in the champion update, and to this day doesn't even exist in Clash Royale, which is really a shame to be honest, because we do have the Barbarian King in Squad Busters out of all places. Why not just add it into Clash Clash Royale, and so to this day we don't actually know why, but what we do know is why this next card that everyone wanted in the game didn't get added. Despite being the dumbest card concept ever attempted to add in Clash Royale, everyone, including me and probably you, will think it's so dumb that it might just work. At least that's what I thought when I first heard of it a couple of months ago, something that might actually be good. This card that is called the Elite Barbarian Hut, and could maybe, possibly, have a chance to work out. This card is almost exactly what you think of it. It would be like a barbarian hut that spawned elite barbarians and would solve two issues at once. So we all agree that spawners in Clash Royale absolutely suck. They are too defensive and just annoying to deal with. So just imagine if a spawner spawned E-barbs that are fast and actually pretty offensive. It might be able to solve that, right? That's the first issue, even though it doesn't really 100% fix it. But the second issue with this has to be the real reason why this card wasn't released, even though maybe it would have done something. So for this one, we have to look at the E-barbs themselves. So the E-barbs is a pretty annoying card. They are normal on defense, but their speed makes them actually have a pretty good surprise factor and makes them really annoying. So if the Elite Barbarian Hut would be added, it would not only remove the surprise factor, because well, you cannot really bridge spam using a spawner, but it would also remove the fact that spawners have to be such a defensive thing. Yeah, maybe it really should have been added, to be honest. But I do have one more card, a card unlike this one that definitely should not be added in any way. It is just so absolutely insane, and you would 100% agree with it. So this last card that we have, you might have actually heard of it once. A card called the Mega P.E.K.K.A. that was once fully planned out and ready, but never came to Clash Royale. So why would you fully develop a card but never release it? That sounds like a pretty stupid thing to do, and for that you have to see how the Mega P.E.K.K.A. looked like and understand the reason why. From the screenshots of it, the Mega P.E.K.K.A. was a part of the P.E.K.K.A. family with the Mini P.E.K.K.A. and Normal P.E.K.K.A. It was literally built on a continuous track and was huge compared to them, but the main effect of the Mega P.E.K.K.A. is that no matter how much HP something has, this Mega P.E.K.K.A. could one-shot every single thing in the game, from one single area all the way to a level 15 golem, and could win you the game by 3 crowning in one single shot. Yes, this card was actually fully developed and ready to enter the game with tons of art and leaked screenshots made of this thing. Just so you get it, this was supposed to be in competitive games. Like, I understand the Super Mini P.E.K.K.A. challenge and all of that, but this card was supposed to be on ladder. Like, who the actual hell thought that this could work? And to this day, the Mega P.E.K.K.A. would never be added to the game. But if you, for some reason, want this card to come on ladder for a few days so we can have some fun, then you have to tell me which cards you would want in the game and why, and subscribe for more content.